Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's
the Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host Mason Kern, and as usual got some great stuff in the kennel for you today. We're going to have exclusive interviews with Ryan Aguayo, who's obviously college football kicking star, turned NFL second round draft pick. And we're also going to have the legendary NCAA basketball coach Gary Waters on a little bit after that. So, going to be a great show. And as always, I do have the sports hot topics. And as always, your interesting happenings on the Hardwood. So, don't go away. Got a lot of great stuff for you today. All right, guys, in Sports Hot Topics this week, we're going to turn our attention toward the NFL and more specifically the roster changes going down throughout the NFL in terms of trades and who's going where. The biggest of which would be the Browns, who were once probably regarded in recent history, at least the worst team in the league, really re-bolstering their offensive approach and transitioning into a team that could be an AFC North powerhouse as you look at their roster to date, because they traded 2 picks in this upcoming 2019 NFL draft, the number 17 and number 96 picks in this upcoming draft in April, as well as safety Jabril Peppers. So Peppers to the New York Giants, and as well as those 2 draft picks in exchange for Odell Beckham Jr., who comes in now to this Browns offense as wide receiver 1, and obviously with Baker Mayfield behind center, and some of these other pieces that they got in their offensive room. I mean, definitely going to be interesting to see how this Browns team stacks up now that they could possibly be in contention for playoff wildcard races where, I mean, just 2 seasons ago, I think they were 0-16. So definitely the tide is turning for the Browns organization. In other just trade news, another star wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Antonio Brown, gets traded to the Oakland Raiders. So some moves being made in the NFL in this offseason period. And come back to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show for more updates as it relates to NFL free agency and trade news. But all right, guys, don't go away, because the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix will be right back after this short break.
If you're losing your hair or notice that it's getting thinner, listen closely. You can do something about it without messy lotions or drugs. Now you can get clinically proven hair growth results at home with the Hair Max Laser. Hair Max delivers nourishing laser light energy to stimulate hair growth right at the roots. It's FDA cleared, recommended by doctors, and best of all, it has an amazing 93% success rate in clinical studies in both men and women, so you can be sure it works. Use it just 3 times a week and experience new hair growth, increased density, and healthier, fuller, more attractive hair in just weeks with a 5-month money-back guarantee. Now, for a limited time, save 15% on your HairMax order at hairmax.com. Type in code RADIO at checkout or call 1-800-9REGROW. That's hairmax.com, code RADIO, or 1-800-9REGROW. Experience real hair growth and save 15% with HairMax.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host Mason Kern, and joining us now is Roberto Aguayo, the former college football kicking star and NFL draft pick turned business professional. Roberto attended Florida State University, where he earned multiple honors and achievements, including the 2013 Lou Groza Award as college football's top kicker. He was also named a 3-time All-American and served as a key member of Florida State's national championship team in 2013. He ended his college career as one of the most accurate place kickers in NCAA history. In 2015, he graduated from Florida State and was selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the second round of the 2016 NFL Draft and is currently a free agent. He also just recently joined PGA Reach, and we'll be getting into some of that as well. And now he's here joining us on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. Roberto, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you for having me. I look forward to this little interview.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time. So first off, before I really get into the college and the NFL and now your post-career a little bit, I always like to ask athletes kind of how they got their start in their sport. So for you, as a football player, how did you just get involved with it in the first place?
Well, I actually grew up playing soccer from like when I could walk. So that's how I kind of got the motion, like the kicking motion. And then when I was about 8 years old, my parents put me and my brother into tackle football. Well, for my brother, it was flag football. He wasn't that old enough, but it wasn't like 2 years, like around 9 years old. The team needed a kicker, and they put us in a big line, and I was the only one that could make it consistently. And that's how I started being a kicker. I started kicking when I was 9 years old. I didn't think anything. I didn't think like, oh, I want to be a pro kicker because I played other positions.
Right.
So I just grew up playing football and soccer until my freshman year of high school. That's when I chose the path, and I knew I could go D1 with my kicking talent. So that's where I cut off the soccer and stuck with football.
Right. So once you get to high school and you realize, hey, this could become pretty serious, that's when the decision was made, obviously, to go to football instead of soccer. So when did it become, wow, I might not just be able to play in college, but this could be a professional endeavor as well?
So that's a good question. It was actually my redshirt freshman year, the national championship season, when I was making all these kicks. I think I was 11 for 11. Then I missed my first kick against Wake Forest, and I was 11 for 12. And I was kind of bummed, but I still was like, okay, I still have a good season. It was like halfway through the season, and then I end up finishing. I was like 19 for 20 or something, and I make it to the final three of the Lou Groza. And I was like, that's cool, that's awesome. Like, hopefully I can win it. And then once I won it, and after we won the national championship, made all these big kicks, then I realized, like, wow, like I could definitely, go to the professional level. I mean, I just had a career year. I won the Lou Groza. It goes out to the best kicker in the country.
Right.
And that was when it hit me, where I was like, oh, okay, I can make this a profession.
Right, and for you, I mean, like you said, you make it to the top three. You're like, wow, this would be pretty cool if I won this, and then you actually do win it. So
Yes.
How was that for you?
I mean, it was all surreal when it was going on. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, like, I grew up looking up at the former winners, and just to be in the same room, it's like just to be in the same category as them. All these former greats, Sebastian Janikowski, Graham Gano, just from FSU, like, I'm in the same category as them, and it was just so surreal. And I actually was top three again the year after. I ended up coming 2 votes short, but still, just you look back at it now and you realize like how much of a prestigious award it was, and how hard it is to get in just to the top three, and then to win it. It was just amazing, and I still have it in my trophy room, and actually. Me and my wife actually named one of our dogs after the Groza trophy, so we have a dog
awesome.
named Groza.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, it's already hard enough to just crack that top three. So winning, and then, like you said, the next year placing again, definitely speaks to the talent level and how impressive you really were in college. And then when you get drafted, a second round in 2016 to Tampa Bay, another pretty surreal moment, I'm sure. So what was, just that whole NFL draft experience like for you?
It was crazy. It all happened so quick. I remember I was on the phone with the Bucks, and my hand was just trembling. Like I couldn't like hold the phone in place. But it was exciting. I remember someone told me, I forgot who it was, but they were like, "Shit, you only get drafted once. You're never going to be able to get drafted. You know what I mean? Like get drafted again." So I just took it all in, and it was kind of like I couldn't believe it until a couple weeks after. It was just really like, wow, I got not only drafted, but drafted in the second round as a kicker.
It's huge.
You don't really see that. So, a lot of people were like, man, second round, like, congrats. We kind of had an idea I was going to be up there, second, third, or fourth, but when the call came and where it came, it was just finally, all this hard work that I put in college, and was was finally showing. So it was a great day.
Yeah, I'm sure, of course. And now, like I mentioned a little bit in the intro, you just recently joined PGA Reach. So can you just kind of describe a little bit what that's about and what you hope to achieve there?
PGA Reach is basically the 501c charitable works of the PGA of America, and it basically has three different branches: PGA Junior League, which is for the kids, growing the game for the younger children, and then PGA Works is a diversity and inclusion, like to grow the game diversely, different cultures, different backgrounds, to grow the game in that aspect. And then PGA Hope is spreading golf out to reach the veterans and in that aspect. So I'm helping them, facilitate, helping them grow, whatever they need to do, whether it be, going out. Like I was at the merchandise show. I spoke on a panel with there was like 10 other works fellows there, and the main question was, how can we grow the game? How can we reach diverse backgrounds? And coming from a minority background, I was able to help that and just take what I learned in the profession, and ultimately that's what I'm trying to do. What I learned, being a professional athlete and that background, trying to take that into PGA Reach and the PGA of America and see how I can help them, and also just learning what I can do, what they can teach me, and how I can take whatever I learned in PGA Reach, working with the team, and take that into my future endeavors.
Right, and it's definitely pretty cool that you're just getting involved in their goal and what they're trying to do. So for you, I mean, what was the draw to just the golf industry for you?
So I picked up golf when I was in like my senior year of high school, and I just fell in love with it. To me, I feel like I like it so much because it's relatable to kicking. It's the same swing, same swing thought. If you leave it open, it's going to go right. If you come in over the top, you could slice it, you could hook it, all that. So it was challenging for me to, stand on the tee box, and it's like, okay, I got to hit this fairway. It's just the same as like, you're out there about to kick a field goal, and you're like, I got to put it between the pipes.
Right.
So, what I learn on the golf course, I take the kicking. What I do in kicking, I take it to the golf course. So that's why I feel I got passionate about it. And during last fall, during the NFL season, I hadn't gotten picked up yet. So I told my agent it's about to be the off season. Actually, my wife was like, "You should do something this off season with whether it be golf or something you're passionate about, and those couple months during the off season, invest your time into something that you could do later down, after once football's done." So I told my agent golf was the first thing, and there ended up being a connection down at the PGA, and I had to go through HR. And I'm very blessed that the PGA of America and PGA Reach gave me this internship, because it's just been amazing. It's been fun. And I've learned a lot, met a lot of great people. So I don't know. It's just a fun game and all. Just hitting a little white ball.
Yeah, there you go. And definitely, like you said, pretty similar to just the whole motion of it. I'm sure it kind of puts you back in that same mindset. So definitely, the similarities there are helpful as well, I'm sure. Well, Roberto, we're running out of time. Thank you so much. Where can our listeners go to get more info or just connect with you?
I guess you could definitely. I'm on Instagram, but PGA of America, definitely PGA Reach. You guys, if you want to help out the foundation, I'm here to grow the game. So I'm still working, so gotta give them a plug. But just want to thank the PGA of America. Thank you for letting me come up and on the air and talk a little bit about what I do and what I'm doing. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you again for your time, Roberto. All right, everyone, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 will be right back after this quick.
Hey, travel lovers, if you want to up your luggage game, check out EagleCreek.com, an innovative and durable line that's sustainably made with PVC-free materials. One stellar option is the Orf Trunk 36, a big bag crafted for big adventure. It's hard to find upright luggage that puts as much into durable, useful features as this one does. Built with all explorers in mind, the Orf Trunk 36 is lightweight, dependable, and efficient. With wet and dry compartments, multi-point handles, a cargo net for internal compression or outside gear attachment, puncture-resistant lockable zippers, central lock point security, oversized treaded wheels, padded laptop sleeves, and more, this luggage seemingly has it all. It even has a key fob quarter key bottle opener. Plus, there's free shipping on all orders and a no-matter-what lifetime warranty. Shop now at EagleCreek.com. That's EagleCreek.com.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host, Mason Kern, and joining us now is Coach Gary Waters, the legendary NCAA men's basketball coach. Coach Waters was the winningest coach in the history of Cleveland State University. During his time at the school, he won 194 games and led the Vikings to 6 postseason appearances. In 2009, the team also made the NCAA tournament and advanced to the second round after shocking Wake Forest. He also rebuilt 3 programs throughout his career, including Kent State, Rutgers, and CSU, into winners. Coach Waters was also named a Master Coach by the Nations of Coaches in 2015 and served on the board of the National Association of Basketball Coaches as well. So with that, Coach Waters is now here on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Thanks for joining the show today. So first off, before I get into the rest of your kind of coaching career, can you kind of give me the backstory on how you got into basketball and then coaching basketball in the first place?
Well, obviously most coaches played at some point in their lives.
Right.
And they went through high school, some of them went to college and played. Same thing here. And I literally had a trial with the pros and all that stuff. But then I made a decision that, you know what, I want to do something to help young men, and I wanted to help young lives and change lives. So that's why I got into coaching.
And how just fruitful and rewarding has that decision paid off for you at this point?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, think about it. I coached for 43 years and had a great deal of success, and the key is you don't go in there for the success. You go in there to help people. And when you can help people and also receive success at the same time, it's a good feeling.
Right, of course. And I mean, like you say, lots of success throughout those 43 years, though. And now, as we're kind of in March, obviously, with so much experience yourself in this time, March Madness on the horizon, what are just kind of some of the fondest memories you have of your time coaching during this March month?
Oh, man, this is a great month. I was at a number of schools, and I remember the year we were at Eastern Michigan, and we went to the Sweet 16, and we ended up playing North Carolina in the Sweet 16. That was a great, great memory. Then I remember at same school, Eastern Michigan, I had Earl Boykins. You remember that name?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. We went to the NCAA. We beat Duke in the first round, and then we lost to Connecticut. That had a great team, and after that, and then when I was at Kent State, we went there twice, and we had some great teams then. When I say some great teams, and we we beat Indiana, that was number 6 in the country, and so those are some good times. Then my last stint at Cleveland State, we went into the tournament and we played number 5 Wake Forest in the first round, and we ended up upsetting them. So we had some great and some fond memories.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, with you having been around this sport, just in terms of coaching it for 43 years, some of those stories and some of those memories got to be super, super fond of, I'm sure. And now, just at this point, in college basketball right now, there have been stories and news scandals just on the horizon. So I want to get your take on just kind of the state of college basketball as you see it as a whole right now.
Well, the state of the game is in good shape. Think about it. Last year, you had a Final Four in San Antonio that went extremely well, and and you had 4 remarkable teams. You even had first time in a long time a mid-major team make it to the finals in Loyola of Chicago. So the state of the game is good, but there's those individuals that go out and try to move ahead and do things without doing it the right way that you're concerned about in the profession, and you hope it just doesn't get to a point where you can't control that factor.
Right, and I mean at this point, I mean with these stories kind of circulating, maybe some negative remarks as I mean basketball's heading into its kind of premier tournament in the college game at least. So how do you just combat that negative news with more positives, especially in this month of March?
Well, you got to think about it. When a negative hits something, one negative won't subtract that. You have to add a number of positives. So I think you got to write some stories and talk about the teams that are doing well, the kids that are doing well, the coaches that are doing well. Prime example today, the Big Ten played the Big Ten tournament, and it started it, and Michigan State played a game, and they won, and Tom Izzo won his 600th game. I mean, that's a memorable moment, and especially for Tom Izzo and Michigan State. So those are the positive things we should bring to light, that coaches are lasting that long in the profession and doing a great job.
Right, yeah, of course. I mean, that's obviously a super huge achievement for Michigan State as a program, and obviously Tom Izzo as well. And for you, just as a coach yourself, obviously each coach has their own tendencies and style of way they like to coach. So for you, how did you kind of interact with your players, approach your team, and what was your kind of specific tendency and style?
Well, my style was to have a family atmosphere, to care for them, and once these young men move forward, because the short time I have them over that 4-year period is my time to help them develop. And during that development state, it's going to take them into the rest of their lives, where you want to make sure that you're moving them in the right direction.
Right, and I'm sure, I mean, character plays a huge role in just shaping these young men. So what is kind of what do you kind of preach just in terms of the character aspect of the game of basketball and of these student athletes?
Well, if I could give you a phrase, and I think it's going to be a catchy phrase in the very near future, that is, character matters. You know,
right.
Sometimes look at it differently and say, well, you know, it doesn't matter what happens to you out there, as long as you win ball games, as long as you have the success you're looking for. But that character portion of it is very, very important. So when you teach it and you try to instill it in the players and in your family members and so on, you want to make sure you're moving in that direction, not in the opposite direction.
Right, yeah. I mean, obviously super important to kind of preach that, as well as, I mean, just relating to your student athletes to kind of make the impact that you can on them is really important as well. So for you...
Well, and when I say this, Nathan, I'm trying to say, what does character mean? And that's what people need to look at. And I think there's 3 things that you need to really put a lot of emphasis on.
Right.
One is integrity. I mean, they have to think about doing the right thing when no one's watching. You know, so that's a key factor. Honesty, you know, having trust in the person and in yourself. So those are 2 very important. And the last one that I think that we're losing a lot of in our profession, and that's loyalty. You're loyal to the people that you work for and the people that are in front of you.
Right, and do you feel that goes both ways then, player to school and school to player?
Yes, I do, and it's, you know, we're losing a little bit of that. You know, you think about all the players that are transferring. You know, this year over 1,000 players transferred in Division I. The loyalty is not there. They're looking for that quick fix.
And how do you combat this then? How do you kind of get that loyalty back?
Well, I tell you this, Mason, that's a $1,000 question.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you can come up with the right answer, because my last couple of years in coaching, I ended up losing a lot of players to that 5th-year rule. And again, that's a transfer rule. So you have to really look at that and look at what does loyalty mean to you.
Right, yeah, that's definitely a lot of great things to think about, especially from the legendary Coach Waters as we're getting into March Madness here relatively quickly. Well, Coach Waters, thank you so much for your time. We're running out of time, so where can our listeners go to get more information or just to connect with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, so they can find that. My website is www.garywaters.com, so they can get it off of there. I got a book coming out in the next 2 months, and it's going to be called 10 Principles of a Character Coach. So it's talking about having character.
Well, there you go, guys. Make sure to go check out the book. Go on Facebook. Go on the website. Get all the information you need. Coach Waters, thank you so much again for your time. All right, everyone. The Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. Will be right back after this.
For singers looking for a fun, all-in-one wireless karaoke mic with a built-in mixer speaker and its own light show, Voco Pro's pop-up Oki microphone is for you. It connects to a smartphone or tablet via Bluetooth and accesses YouTube and numerous karaoke apps for hours of entertainment. An onboard MP3 player allows singers to perform recorded MP3 tracks. Its multicolored LED light with on-off switch will automatically dance to the beat of the music, adding visual excitement to any karaoke session. Find it at vocopro.com.
You ready to hoop it up?
This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
All right, guys, as always, at the end of the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix, it's time to transition over to the Hardwood. And, I talk NBA, talk NCAA, but I don't think there's a better time to talk about college basketball than right now. We're in the month of March, so you know what that means. March Madness is practically upon us. Selection Sunday's here. And, a lot of just crazy stuff going down. You look here, as obviously in Arizona, with the Pac-12 tournament, your two-time reigning champion Arizona Wildcats get bounced in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament to USC, the 8 versus 9 seed, and that really spelled possibly the end of the Sean Miller era at Arizona. No inside information there, just speculation being tossed around Twitter and other means. But whether or not Sean Miller deserves to keep his job, it's been an influx of talent. This year was one of the worst, probably talent-wise, teams that Arizona has put out since the 80s, just in terms of pure basketball talent level. And obviously with the whole scandal that Sean Miller is involved or getting subpoenaed for and that he possibly is involved in is also casting a slight shadow over the U of A program, coupled with their 17 and 15 season that obviously was not very good compared with Arizona's usual standards. And then you look at Arizona State, who escapes the first round with an 11-point victory over UCLA, then takes on Oregon. This is a team that was peaking into this Pac-12 tournament. With that first round win, they were winners of 6 of their last 7 against Oregon, who had beat them by 28 in their last contest. The Ducks got a huge home victory over ASU by 28 in their last meeting before their Saturday night matchup. But ASU, this is a team that definitely was peaking, and their conference or their NCAA tournament odds at this point. Some really great wins against Quad 1, Quad 2 opponents, a combined record. But, their 2 Quad 4 losses to Princeton and Washington State really bogs down on their record. And that's what a lot of people look to in terms of whether or not Arizona State is a qualified enough team to be playing in this tournament. Obviously, when you look at the wins, they beat Kansas and then immediately lose to a Princeton team that was just not very good. Came in 3rd place in the Ivy League, which is a league they could have probably won. And it would have been better for ASU had they won it. Then again, got some huge wins for ASU. Kansas, Washington, Utah State. These are games that they won pretty handily, include Mississippi State in that list as well at the beginning of the year. So this is a team that has been inconsistent at times throughout the season, but definitely played better heading into March and is probably a team that deserves a tournament berth just based on their resume as a whole to this season. Definitely going to be interesting to see the results of this selection Sunday, and we'll be sure to evaluate all the matchups here on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show as the tournament progresses next week. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @SportsWatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at The Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
The Sports Watchdog. The Sports Watchdog, Ace and Kern.